please, okay, so 8-2 is quadratic functions. So we are going to be graphing some of these quadratic functions. And sometimes when you get a quadratic equation, you can't just simply enter in -2, -1, 0, 1, or 2, or nor can you just enter in multiples of a fraction. So anytime you get a full quadratic equation where you have the middle term, there's a very easy way to find the right numbers so that you can graph. Okay, so you want to find the axis of symmetry. Now, when we were studying the graphs, we learned that the axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex. It goes right down the middle of the parabola. So if you could find this x-axis or this x-coordinate, you could plug that into the equation to find the y-coordinate, and you have the vertex. You have the very center of the parabola. And then you just choose two numbers on either side of that. And that might sound a little bit confusing, but once we do it once or twice, you'll get the hang of it. So everything in here is what I just explained. All right. A couple of key facts. When a graph opens upward like this, the first term, called the A term in your quadratic equation, is positive. But if it opens downward, if it opens up, it's positive. If it opens down, it's negative. Okay. And that is going to be important in one of our next lessons. The C in the equation, this is C right here, represents where the parabola crosses the y-axis, because a y-intercept, the x is 0, and then the y has some number, right? Well, if the x is 0 in this equation and we plug 0 in, we're left with 3. So that means the y will cross at 0, 3, like it does right here. Okay. So that's easy to identify where it's going to cross the y-axis. The axis of symmetry runs through the vertex, which is the center of the parabola. We talked about that, and you can get the vertex by using this formula right here, and I'll show you how that works. And then plugging it into y, or finding y. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Let's come over here to this first problem. Now, this whole page is one problem. Page 3 is one problem, and then page 4 is a few more. So I did this when we did systems of equations. One problem was on one full page, and I separated out the steps to hopefully make it more clear on how to do this. The point of this lesson here is to take a quadratic function and graph it. That's all it is, okay? So determine the axis of symmetry. When it's asking for the axis of symmetry, this is referring to x equals some number. Okay, you're trying to find x. So when we're trying to find x, we're going to use this formula, -b over 2a. Well, where do we get the -b and where do we get the 2a? Okay, I'm going to do this a little differently. Huh? Wait, hold on. I'm going to show you something really quick. Okay. So up here, this is A, this is B, this is C. Okay. So this is asking for -b. So what it's actually asking for is -1b. Okay. So I'm going to take -1 times my b, which is -6, per 2, which is in my formula, times a, and a is 1. Okay. This is the formula to figure out what x is in the equation. So now I just solve it. -1 times -6 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. And then I reduce that to 3. So x equals 3. And this is the first part of our answer. Okay, no, we're not done. We have some more stuff to go. I'm missing a pen. All right. So this is the first part of our answer. Our first step is finding the x, gentlemen. When you find the x coordinate from step 1 here, you're going to substitute it into the equation for x. So here's our equation up here to determine the y. All right. So I'm going to take this equation up here. Y equals x squared minus 6x plus 4. I'm going to plug the 3 into the equation wherever my x is. So y equals 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 4. And that will give me my y. So y equals 9 minus 18 plus 4. Y equals negative 9 plus 4. Y equals negative 5. So this is step 2. So I found my axis of symmetry, which is also my x coordinate for my vertex. Then I found my y coordinate for my vertex. So now what I'm going to do, I just found this very center of my parabola. So if I were to create a table and I want 5 points. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This ordered pair, 3, negative 5, that is my vertex. That's going to go in the center. 3, negative 5. Okay. So then what I do is I choose 2 points above it and 2 points below it. So I'm going to choose 2 and 1 and 4 and 5. All right. So then what I do with those is I plug those into the x of the equation and solve for my y's. So I have my ordered pairs. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start solving. My equation is y equals x squared minus 6x plus 4. I'm going to solve each of these for my ordered pairs. So I have y equals 1 squared minus 6 times 1 plus 4. Are there any questions so far? Now, once you get here and you continue to solve, you should be repeating your numbers from above. If not, you may have done something wrong and you will want to go back and check your work. So this is your vertex. You want to put your vertex in the middle. And then over here, if you want to write this, you're going to choose 2 points less than bx and 2 points greater than dx. Okay. No, it's just maybe if some of you, if you want, you could write it just to remind yourself of what you have to do. Now you're going to graph the vertex in step 2 and the 4 additional points. So basically what we're doing is we're graphing these ordered pairs. So we have you have 1, -1, 2, -4. Oh yeah. 3, -5, 4, -4, and 5, -1. And then you can draw your parabola. Remember, it's a U shape, not a V shape. Okay. Any questions? All right. Okay, page 3. Same thing, just a different problem. So what I would like for you to do, using example 1, I want you to try to work this out on your own. Okay? So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that, and then we'll come back and check. So go ahead and check steps 1 and 2 if you're there, just to see if that's what you got. Okay, here, so we looked at the vertex and then the table, and then here is the graph that we should have come up with. Okay, are there any questions on this? Okay. Anyone still working? All right, let's go ahead and go to page 4. So on page 4, oops, you don't want to see that? Well, maybe you do. I don't know. Okay. No. I have a answer key and then I have a blank one. No. Okay. I am recording, so if you don't mind, that would be, let's be cooperative. All right. So find the equation of the axis of symmetry and the coordinates of the vertex of the graph of each function. So on this one, all we're doing is we're finding the vertex. We're not graphing. So the reason I put these on here is just because we want to practice the graphing. I'm sorry. We want to practice finding the vertex. Okay. So remember that you have 1 here, which is A, -8 is B, and -7 is C. And our formula here is X equals -1B over 2A. And we are now going to plug all of this in. So -1 times B, which is -8, over 2 times A, which is 1. We get 8 over 2, which is 4. So X equals 4. Okay, now we found the X, we have to find the Y. So we're going to take the equation Y equals X squared minus 8X minus 7. And we're going to plug the 4 into where the X is. And we're going to solve for Y. Okay. So our vertex is 4, -23. Okay. Wow. So are there any questions on that? Okay, go ahead and do 4. And then we will come back and check that one. Okay, go ahead and check number 4 when you're ready. Is anyone still working on this one? Okay. Okay. Yes, please. Okay, so number 5, you'll notice that there's not a B. So it's 0. So here. So it's -1 times 0, and it really doesn't matter what's on the top. It's going to equal 0. And then when you write out the equation, if x is 0, you could already see this. It's just going to be 3. Okay. I'm going to write it out anyway, just because that's how I am. Yeah. So the vertex is, does anybody know what the vertex is? Yes, which is also the y-intercept. Now, not all, I'm just saying this one, yes, it does go down the axis of symmetry. It's the point. But 0, 3 would be the y-intercept as well. All right, so there's one more to do. I want you to do that one on your own, and then we'll check it. Okay, so this is the vertex for number 6. And 8-2 is broken up into 2 parts. One is finding the vertex and being able to graph a parabola. The other is using the falling object model equation. And so I'm going to break this up into 2 parts. So this is going to conclude this video, and the next one will show the rest of the notes.